Thanks for joining us on this edition of Business Daily. Coming to you live from Seoul, I'm Ijiyoon. We have a lot on our plate this morning, so let's get started with today's highlights. We sit down with the International Maritime Organization Secretary-General Im Ki-tack, the first Korean candidate to ever win this post. Domestic car makers are looking to diversify their best-selling car models as they look to bump up sluggish sales in the first half of this year and win back the hearts of consumers. These stories and more coming right up. Korea's rate of economic growth in the second quarter is projected to hover under the 3% mark. According to Bloomberg, Korea's average GDP growth rate in Q2 forecast by 14 global investment banks was at 2.7% on year. The unexpected drop in spending and a blow to the tourism industry due to the MERS outbreak, as well as a decline in exports due to the weak Japanese yen, were cited as some of the main factors. The country's outbound shipments slid on year by nearly 11% in May and 2% in June. Experts predict that Korea's growth target of 3% this year is becoming increasingly unattainable. Investors unable to find a profitable spot to place their cash amid record low interest rates are turning to money market funds. According to sources in the finance industry on Tuesday, net inflow into such funds surged more than 46% since the end of last year, standing at $33 billion. Experts pointed to the fund's flexibility and withdrawals as the main reason behind the increase. Market researcher FN Guide said returns on money market funds in the past year averaged around 2%, higher than interest rates on timed deposits. Meanwhile, debt held by the country's state-owned entities outside of the capital region is raising concern. It's been on an upward trajectory since the year 2002, tripling in some over the past decade to exceed $63.6 billion as of the end of last year. Seoul-based Yonhap news agency attributed this to poor governance by over-ambitious leaders who excessively pushed forward pledges within their set terms. It also pointed to the Korean practice of parachuting in politically well-placed individuals into top jobs. In the automobile industry, the emerging trend these days is to offer multiple choices for one particular car model. And it's a strategy that domestic car makers hope will help them push back against a growing presence of imports in the Korean car market. Our Eunice Kim explains.
Last week, Kia presented a brand new K5, the first major facelift the Korean automaker's best-selling mid-size sedan has had in 5 years. Better known as the Optima in other markets, the new K5 broke mold and was released under not one, but two designs, the SX Sporty Extreme and the MX or Modern Extreme. Going a step further, the differentiation extends to below the hood, 5 different engines, including a gasoline, a diesel, and a gasoline turbo, giving way to the so-called two faces, 5 hearts.
We'll roll out the 5 engines first, and the second half we'll unveil a hybrid engine, and the first half of next year, a plug-in hybrid.
Bumping up options in exteriors and interiors behind one model is a noteworthy trend in the automotive's market these days. Competitors like Volkswagen Golf, BMW 5 Series, and Mercedes-Benz E-Class are already pursuing Korean car buyers and expanding their market share with a varied lineup. Earlier this month, Hyundai Motor also unveiled a 2016 Sonata that has 7 designs with gasoline, turbo, and hybrid engines on offer under the hood.
Hyundai Motor is responding to our customers' evolving wishes by diversifying our powertrain options.
All Korean car makers, aside from Renault's Samsung, logged an on-year dip in exports in the first half of this year. All the more reason why they don't want to loosen their grip on the home market. Eyes will be on whether the strategy to diversify will be enough to pull themselves out of the slowdown to reach their growth goals for 2015. Eunice Kim, Business Daily.
The International Maritime Organization is the United Nations specialized agency responsible for the safety and security of shipping and maintaining a comprehensive regulatory framework worldwide. And just last month, Im Ki-tack, currently the president of Busan Port Authority, was elected as the IMO's new Secretary-General after 5 rounds of voting, beating candidates from countries like Denmark and Russia. Im began attending IMO meetings as part of the South Korean delegation in 1986 and served as Korea's deputy permanent representative from 2006 to 2009. This is the first time that a Korean candidate has been elected to such a post, creating a lot of anticipation in the domestic maritime industry. Korea's shipping industry still remains a dominant force globally, but recently it has entered a period of stagnation amid tumbling shipping rates and overcapacity. And with a new leader set to take office, it's now in search of a greater engine for growth.
And to hear more about his goals and visions as the next IMO leader, we're now joined by IMO Secretary-General-elect Im Ki-tack in the studio. Hello and welcome to the program.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
All right, so before we get started, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel to be elected as the next IMO Secretary-General?
So in fact, I'm very honored to become the IMO Secretary General, and at the same time, I'd like to thank the Korean government and the Korean people for supporting my campaign. Really appreciate it.
All right, great. Well, in your opinion, what role should the next IMO Secretary General play?
The Secretary General will take care of all activities of IMO. So first of all, I have to serve the IMO member state. And also I'm relevant to industry and I'm a secretariat as well. And with regard to the relevant IMO convention and regulation, and so including implementation area as well.
All right, we'd like to hear a little bit about Korea's maritime industry. Where does the country stand globally and what kind of growth potential does it have?
Actually, Korea is very strong at the maritime industry. For instance, when it comes to the shipping industry, Korea is number 5.
Oh, right.
And the shipbuilding industry, number 1 in the world. But in terms of the technological area and expertise, Korea has a very strong point, power. But I have things that Korea needs to improve a lot in a way, by means of the contributing technical issues to the IMO the activities, but also providing some financial support for the IMO, particularly for the developing countries. So in a way, we can have a big, maritime power. However, the Korean maritime industry can be more respected by the other member states in the end.
All right. Well, then up until now, how have IMO regulations affected Korea's maritime industry?
But actually, there are a lot of IMO regulations, but according to some study, so far, and for the past 30 years, IMO has influenced on the Korean maritime industry, which cost around $150 billion for the last 30 years. So it is very, quite a lot of influence to the IMO, the maritime community of Korea.
All right. Well, many Korean businesses are excited to hear the news of your election and possible opportunities that might come with it. As the new IMO Secretary General, what kind of efforts do you think Korea's shipbuilding and shipping industry should make in order to enhance the cooperation with other global partners?
Yes, as I mentioned, Korea is very strong at the maritime industry. Based on our capability and expertise, I believe Korea needs to contribute more to international communities. Technical area, but also financial area. So the one strategy I would like to say is that we needed to pursue so-called win-win strategy.
Win-win.
So the good cooperation between IMO and the Korean maritime industry. So providing the technical information or data to the IMO. for their further development in the course of the IMO work, and also provide some financial assistance for the developing countries. So in the end, Korean maritime industry can develop further based on technology and respect from the member state.
All right. Well, you'll be serving your new post as the IMO Secretary General starting January of next year for the next 4 years, right? What kind of goals do you have?
First of all, the mission of IMO is to take care of maritime safety and the protection of marine environments. So having said that, I would like to raise international profile of IMO worldwide by means of good communication with the media and good communication with the other external bodies, including United Nations, etc. And also, I'd like to promote some bilateral partnership among IMO member states for more harmonization and more concerted effort for the common goals. And finally, I will do my best to fulfill my responsibility of Secretary General as a Korean Secretary General.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today. And again, congratulations on your new post.
Thank you for the time being.
And that does it for now. Thanks for staying with us throughout our program. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time, same place. Until then, goodbye.